Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. It's your host, Bad Little Chuck. We're back at it again as we're officially in the off-season mode. We're going to be reviewing the 2021 season, weeks 1 through 4. Before we get to that, I'd like to introduce everybody. Country to the top left-hand corner of the screen.
Y'all swap
Uh,
sides.
yeah, right. Sometimes that happens. But bottom left of the screen is Kylie, and the bottom right hand of the screen is Boogie. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna be reviewing the season, how everything went and everything, what we got right, what we got wrong, what we may have missed, and moments from the shows in the past too. So before we get into all that though, let's talk about let's go to you, Boogie, because you wasn't on the last episode when our season ended. You got a different perspective from as far as like your game experience, pre-game, in-game, all that stuff, man. So. How did you see everything from your perspective as our season ended last week?
I was feeling like y'all was feeling, man. Of course, I was pissed. I was, yeah, that game was crazy seeing it live. You kind of had that feeling. You know, the old Chiefs we used to have that when we get down by like what 2 possessions, we know the game was over with Alex Smith. But then the other thing with Andy Reid since he been here, when he get that lead, no matter who we play, if we get two out early in the game, it's like he take his foot off the gas. It's always just been a narrative with him. So I mean, that's exactly what it was. That and you said Mahomes. We kind of you kind of could just see something was off, man. Second half, like I know at the game, I kept saying we still haven't scored yet. Like it was crazy, man. That was definitely probably Mahomes' worst half. But I mean, it is what it is. I think. I mean, we'll be back. We're gonna always be in the thick of things, so I think we'll be okay. But I am worried. I mean, all year they was talking about Mahomes got figured out. He, now it may have some merit to it. Bengals may have him figured out. This 2 times they done did all that to him. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be tough though. I think we'll be back, but I don't know. Just knowing that we was what 2, 3 plays away from like having 3, 4 rings, it just show you how close the league is. But that D4 offsides, that Mahomes run it in, we could have had what 2 more rings right there. Now we only got one. Kind of hurt, but I mean it is what it is, man.
It's
Okay, so
frustrating.
so the end of the half, like when we walk off the field with no points in that situation, what is the stadium like then? Because I know it was rocking before that, but did
Yeah, it
that
was
kind of suck
rocking.
some of the air out of the stadium?
Yeah, I mean it was just one of them plays though. I thought we should have took the points, but I mean the crowd was cool there. I think that second half we start seeing. Come on, Caleb. Too early for that, man. Yeah, man. I don't know. Stadium. I mean, they was still rocking and rolling. Bengals fans was quiet. It was all fun and games. Everything was normal. But then second half, I think, like after we went what 3 and out, then just like did it again. It was like, oh shit, hold on, they offense really stalling. So I think it was more of that. At the half, it was still temperature was still cool for the most part. Everybody was still thinking they was gonna win it.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
we're
I
not
know.
gonna dwell
Ouch.
on that game.
Bringing back all these old feelings. Not even know. Trying to move on.
Yeah,
But
it hurt.
I want to go to Caleb's comment, man, because I ain't watched a lick of the Pro Bowl, man. I just seen the clip where Mahomes threw the pick, and I was like, oh, so I guess he throwing this game too, huh? And it was in a joking manner.
uh,
You know what I mean? you know, Chiefs fans, they have they have gone into that mode. Like, man, I think Mahomes might have threw that game, dog. Just I don't know, man. It looked a little suspicious.
okay,
Look at it
okay.
again.
Here's a conspiracy theory. They told Mahomes at halftime, "All right, we're gonna let you go to the Super Bowl. Well, we got to have the Rams win." And Mahomes was like, I'd rather not. No, hey, bro. Look, you gotta laugh about it now, bro. Like you can't just stay stuck into the sewer in bad times, bro. You gotta eventually move on and come out on the other side. Like Boogie said, we always gonna be in the thick of things. We always gonna be in contention. We always gonna be in that conversation. Not to say they don't need to improve, because this is gonna be a fun off season. Because I think it's gonna be a lot of changes that we're gonna be able to touch on. Speaking of changes, we do have a D-line coach that we just hired, Joe Cullen. Is it Cullins? Collins?
Cullen.
No, I thought it was
Okay.
Joe. I thought it was
From
Joe
the
Coley.
Joe
It
who?
might be Colin. I think it's Colin. You're
I
right,
think
Joe
it's
Colin.
Cullen.
Joe Cullen.
Yeah,
What's
from
up?
the Jaguars. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got some new blood in there. We did a little Kafka, possibly losing EB. Praying he had a good interview. I think the Saints is a good fit for EB, even though they got to give him some time because they in cap hell. They don't have a quarterback. They got they in cap hell. I said that twice because they are like really, really in cap hell. You know what I'm saying? So they got to give him a max of 5 years. Don't give him 3 years and expect him to be in the playoffs, bro. He got to do a lot of work out there. But losing Kafka, losing possibly EB, losing Matt House, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be some new blood in there, bro. What?
Yeah.
Somebody telling me you gotta Caleb,
I'm
calm down, bro. Calm down,
man.
Caleb.
Now,
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. The Rams got to pay for that stadium somehow, man. I'm just gonna say that real quick. But
all
but as
right.
far
Well,
but as far as as far as EB goes, as far as Eric Bieniemy goes, man, we'll see on that, man. I honestly think the Saints gonna end up hiring Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen been there and everything. So I truly don't think Eric
D
Bieniemy's gonna get
coordinator.
hired
Yeah.
because to me they using his name because Brian Flores put the NFL's feet to their fire, man, over this Rooney Rule nonsense. So that's why
right.
Eric Bieniemy's name came up again. You know what I mean?
You
I
see
hope
that
he gets a job,
segue?
but
Now, are you concerned? I know I've seen a lot of people tweeting like, "Oh my gosh, if we lose Kafka and EB, like we're gonna be in trouble." But I've also seen some people like, "Oh no, it's good. Like let's get some fresh coaches in." Like, how do you feel? Like, would you be all right if
It,
we lost EB?
it's like this. When everything's going bad, it's EB's fault. When everything going good, it's Andy's fault. At the end of the day, it's still Andy Reid. Like
Right.
that's the only person I would be concerned losing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all Andy Reid at the end of the day, whether you believe EB calling plays or you're not, or you believe Kafka made Mahomes into this super quarterback that I don't really think he did. Like Kafka is like a myth. Like we heard all this stuff he did, but have we seen it? Like, do we know for sure? Can we point to say that's Mike Kafka did that? Like, I'm not worried about losing either one of them. I wish them both the best. You know what I'm saying? But as far as losing them, nah, I'm cool.
I
I
have
would
never
take Matt Nagy
heard.
back though.
Okay.
I have never heard of a Chiefs fan base be this concerned over a quarterback coach. I have never heard this from our fan base, man. Like that's not a big concern to me. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, the offense is Andy Reid's baby. You know what I mean? He's gonna call most of the shots regardless, no matter who the coordinator is, no matter who the quarterback coach is. I'm not concerned. Andy Reid's coach of trees like one of the largest in the NFL in general. So that's not moving me.
Hey Chuck, and we know that because that's why Andy didn't run the ball second half on that game,
Oh
right?
God, tell me about it.
God, we can't go
Tell
back
me
there.
about it.
We can't go back
I'm
there.
okay, okay,
We
okay,
can't go
okay,
back.
okay. All right.
Forward.
Woo.
But for real, yeah. Ugh.
But
So yeah,
Nagy,
but
yeah, I'm cool with Nagy coming back.
hmm
I'm cool with that. This was pretty good with him.
at this point, I'm just like whatever, man. You know what I mean? Like if they bring Matt Nagy back, cool. If they find somebody else that can do the job well, cool. But at the end of the day, is Andy Reid's at the controls. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to affect the offense to me. Like Patrick Mahomes, he'll be back to Patrick Mahomes, I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least he said that in the Pro Bowl interview. I mean, I saw that. You know what I mean? At least that's what he said. So,
Kevin, that's what we all want is for the D coordinator to get changed more than the O coordinator.
Yeah.
I think we all agree with that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Would love to
Listen.
see them shake things up in defense more than just a defensive line coach.
Okay.
If you can bring
Flores, is he blackballed though? You think he gets the job?
Nah, he's blackballed, man. Because like anytime you going after the NFL and everything, that means you risking your job, you risking your career. So I mean, it's basically the same thing with Colin Kaepernick when he got a settlement with the NFL. He got his bread. So we haven't heard anything from him since. He hasn't been able to get a job with the NFL since. So Brian Flores, he said he understood that from the get-go. Once he decided to make this move. So I think that's what it is with Flores at this point.
All right, let's talk about it for a little bit. We all know the Rooney Rule it's more than a sham, but at the same time, it's a sham. You know what I'm saying? Like we get it.
It's a
you
sham.
got to interview a minority guy. You know what I'm saying? But look, prior to all this, as soon as they hired the dude from Buffalo, we already knew who the coach was going to be. Like, everybody knew Brian Daboll was going to be the coach. Like, why are we even trying to hide that fact? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was pretty much a sham interview. He wasn't going to get the job. We all knew Brian Daboll was going to get the job. How Belichick knew, that's something that I would want to talk about. Like, how did he know he was going to get the job before, you know what I'm saying, before you even interviewed? I don't know if that was the setup. That's the shaky part right in there. That the hoodie called him and was like, yo, I heard you got the job.
Yeah.
Like, where did you hear that? Where you hear that from? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then the John Elway thing. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, bro. We all knew it was a sham interview. Let's just, let's talk and get it over. Let's hear your thoughts and all that. But we already know who we gonna hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the Rooney Rule needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
but you can't force these owners to hire black coaches. We wish it was different, and we wish everybody got a fair shake. But the reality is, everybody's not gonna get a fair shake, bro. And no matter what your credentials are or your resume, they already know who they want before you go in an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, so unless somebody comes in, when the last time somebody came in an interview, it was blown away. Like, oh my God, I was thinking about Boogie, but shoot, Chuck came in here and killed this interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the real world. It's not football. I think we need more minority owners, more minority front office guys, more minority GMs. And that's when the coaches start coming. You know what I'm saying? So I think they try to fix it in the middle, but the problem's at the top. You feel me?
Right.
So
yeah.
Until we get that figured out, to where we can get some minority owners, you don't have to own the whole team, but if you got 20% of the team, 30% of the team, you know what I'm saying? Start spreading it out. There's too many old white men running the league. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, that's not the world we live in. It's more black people and Mexicans and Asians than it is white people. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, they kind of becoming the minorities. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. NFL doesn't reflect real life when it's 80% players and 1% ownership. Like, how does that make sense? You feel me? I'm saying you feel me a lot. I've been watching West Coast interviews.
Yeah, I just want to see actions. Yeah. I just want to see actions more than just words. And, Goodell put out that memo, but it's like, cool. Is this going to go anywhere? Like, are you just doing this for PR? Like, to save face? Like, just don't. To me, like, that's almost more disrespectful, putting something out like that again when we've seen this so many times. Like, actions. So I think the Rooney Rule needs to change. I totally agree with Country, and I think there's just a lot of we got to change like the ownership through the NFL. So I don't know. It's a frustrating hamster wheel. I feel like we're on.
Yeah, and I want to go back to BJ's earlier comment saying that the owners shouldn't be told how to do their jobs. I'm like, okay, yeah, like they own the team, they get to do whatever they want with it, right? Our point is that don't try to use the Rooney Rule and abuse it like how the Giants just did. Like, you know that Brian Dable had the job, and then you brought this guy anyway. That's what we saying. Like, you can't use the Rooney Rule in that manner. You know what I mean? That's just going too far, and that's just wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong. I mean, I know life is not fair and everything, but to do Brian Flores like that, after we clearly see he's more than qualified to still be a head coach of the league, like the Dolphins, it was just a bunch of garbage down there, and he was still winning games with them. And then you hear about this stuff about the owner Stephen Ross allegedly offered him $100K to lose. You know what I mean, for every game that he loses or whatever. And then the unnamed quarterback he wanted him to meet was Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I see some people was talking about Deshaun Watson. No, it's Tom Brady, and then people want to bring up this stuff about Deshaun Watson that's yet to be true and all that. But anyway, that's besides the point. At the end of the day, I'm with Country. We need to be more concerned about ownership. You know what I mean? Like, and not just have one black owner. We need to have more than one black owner. I think we should start with it like at least 3 to 5 minority black owners in the league. And like BJ said in the comments, like, Carolina or Denver, those are definitely two teams that could use some black owners. Start there and everything. So, and then like I agree with Caleb's comment too. The black coaches are just getting these jobs where the team is rebuilding, so they got to build the team up, and then when the team is a playoff contender or is on the cusp of making the playoffs, the black coaches are getting fired. So it's just crazy how the black coaches get like a shorter leash in all professional sports in general. You know what I mean? When it comes to building a team and trying to turn it around, like you're not even giving them a chance to compete for a championship, and that's wild to me.
Yeah,
we are getting a lot of minority GMs. The last three guys been like Poles in Chicago, the kid out in Minnesota, and wasn't it another black GM just hired?
Minnesota.
I don't know, but they starting to spread out. There's a lot of black assistant coaches, but I mean, hey man, give them a shot, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you interview them with an open mind. Maybe they'll come in there and blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? But the way the world is set up, bro, we already know what battles we already fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to change, bro. It's got to be more fair. We got to get some black ownership. We got to get some black people empowered, some black presidents, some black GMs. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't this what Jay-Z was supposed to be doing, bringing awareness to all this?
Man, Jay-Z a phony when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Forget
I ain't gonna even comment because I ain't gonna even derail the show with that comment. But okay. So anyway,
but I mean, he was supposed to bring awareness to this though, right? So I mean, maybe they'll let him get a team. But they said they got witnesses to that Miami Dolphins stuff.
Jay-Z is a phony.
Hey, Stephen Ross might be Miami Dolphins. Job.
He's the owner. They'll make him sell. That's what I'm saying. So maybe we'll get one of those teams. They'll try to. What's that? Robert? Is it Johnson? Trying to buy the Broncos.
Denver's up for sale right now.
So, I thought it was a different minority black owner trying to buy the Broncos.
Why the Redskins? My bad. Why the Commanders haven't had a new owner is I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's all he got is a halftime show. You showed right.
The Commanders.
I think he done got us some programs. Like it's not okay. It's not the change. But what change did you expect them to bring though?
The only change I expected them to bring was some more money to Jay-Z pockets.
I don't think Jay-Z the only one getting his pockets lined though.
I mean, of
But
course
he's
not.
the
But
forefront of it, right?
yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
he the
use it.
face of it. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta use it as a puppet.
I get that point. I think that he's done a lot of things like on the grassroots level and under the radar that they not exposing that. They're not gonna talk about that. But all they talk about is the Super Bowl halftime show, which is, I mean, okay. And if that's the only thing you're gonna talk about, then it's fair to criticize him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a Jay-Z fan, a big time Jay-Z fan. I think that they've done a lot of donations to local grassroots organizations. They've done a lot of that to help out inner city kids and all that stuff,
Oh
but
God.
it's not enough for Charles. I can tell by his face.
Oh
So go
God,
ahead.
man. Listen, dog. Man, Jay-Z a phony. I'm sorry. After that inspired change stuff they was doing, what turned me off is that you got all these kids all of a sudden needing to cut their dreads just to make themselves look more presentable or whatever. I mean, we have seen plenty of nice gentlemen who had dreads and gotten top tier jobs and all that. Like, man, that's some bull, dog. Like, FJZ for that, man. I'm sorry. And like another thing,
Right.
the only thing real change, the only way we're gonna get real change on this subject is if the black players go ahead and boycott. Now I know some people gonna be like, well, the NFL is gonna find replacement players. I'm like, it's not gonna hit the same, bro. Believe me, it's not gonna hit the same, dog. Like, because majority of the league is black, man. They the one bringing in these owners' money. You know what I mean? Just based on them, just based on their performance for the most part.
Chuck,
Do you think that'll
respectfully,
ever
I
happen
don't want to
though?
call them scary.
They scary. I'm gonna say it.
I was
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
say
say
it for you,
respectfully, I don't want to call NFL players scary, but it's a difference between NFL players standing on stuff and NBA players standing on stuff. They don't got the power in the NFL like the players in the NBA do. I don't
No,
think they
they
gonna
don't.
stand for something like that. I don't even think it'd be fair for us to even expect them to, because the system, man, it's a system.
E- even the NBA folded. They folded too, right? When they was about to do it, they folded like, oh, we was gonna. They decided to go ahead and just continue to play in the bubble when they really could have made a huge statement. But it is what it is, dog.
But
Yeah,
see,
but
that's the problem. That's
NBA
the
players
problem.
definitely stand on more stuff than NFL players, Chuck.
It just looks that way, bro. Believe me, it just
Nah, I
looks
don't
that way
know.
on TV.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So how can we be mad at Jay-Z and then say, well, Jay-Z was supposed to change it? That's one guy. But then we
Bro,
got 900 players that's not doing anything.
Jay Z
They don't got
got
Jay-Z
used,
money,
bro.
bro.
Jay Z got used, fam. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's the only reason why we got mad. Like, bro, like Roger Goodell just used you, dog. They use you to take the hit, bro.
Hmm.
So anyway, what else? What
Hey,
else?
Yeah, yeah. Besides that, weak ass Pro Bowl game, whatever.
Bro, I
It's
said
like,
one highlight when he got the pick six, Winfield, and they
yeah.
really just walked him into the end zone. I said, I'm not watching this.
Listen, man. At
Yeah.
this point, they just need to put. They need to make it 7-on-7 and have an offensive lineman, defensive lineman competition.
Don't
That's
even
it.
play
Or
a
don't have
game.
the game. Or don't even
Don't
have the
even
Right.
game.
play
Don't
a
play a
game.
game.
Don't even have the
No.
game,
Just
bro.
just make it
Just
all skill competition,
yep.
races, dodgeball, all that type of stuff. Don't even play a game. Don't play a
Yeah.
game. Why?
Don't they like test out a few new rules or do anything
or
like that?
let them do something with fans. My fault, Kyle.
No, you're
You
good.
Yeah,
said
let
It's
what,
them
not.
Kyle?
do something with fans.
I think do they ever like test out new rules or anything when they're doing Pro Bowl stuff or
Yeah, they
Nah,
have.
for there to
that's
be a reason
preseason. That's
for there to be a
preseason,
game?
basically.
Like, can they just get rid of it?
Get rid of this
Yeah,
game.
I'm with you, country. Just get rid of the game. It's silly. I was watching
Yeah,
it. They were just
yeah.
going through the
Play,
motions.
play, play rock and jock softball or something. Like, just
yeah.
do
Bring Rocket John
events.
back. Bring
Just do
Rocket John
events
back.
for like fans
Man.
and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
let the
Mhm.
fans participate. You know what I'm saying? Let them see their favorite players. Make it a road show or something. Put it in a different stadium. You get to interact with fans. It's just like a fan mode, like you do at Super Bowl. Don't play a game. Nobody wants to play the
Yeah,
game. Nobody wants to get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not even
let the
tackling in
fans
this
come
game,
in
bro.
do
It's
a couple plays, man. Imagine being able to guard Tyreek on a little go route or something, man. Catch a pass
You
from
see,
Mahomes or something. I mean,
Oh,
you,
one
you
thing.
see him get burnt in the sprint competition or whatever. I don't even think he was trying.
He wasn't.
People are all giving.
Nah, he
no,
wasn't.
He
No,
was
I know,
not
and all
trying
the,
at
but
all.
I'm saying like people are just gonna take it and they're running with it, and I'm like, he's not even like he's clearly not even trying. And
He
then
Bruh,
wasn't at all.
yeah,
do you want to know
It's-
how he wasn't trying? He wasn't trying because he was lined up like in his wide receiver stance. Everybody else was lined up in like they track stance or whatever, like they about to run 100 meters.
Bro, he had on a hoodie and sweats. He was not
right.
trying.
Yeah.
No,
and he still was in the race. Like, never mind. He was definitely not trying.
right. People trying to run with it,
But do those type
acting
of
like he
things.
was
Do the
trying.
races.
I forgot about
Do the
that, Caleb. That's
dodgeball.
funny.
You said what? Nah, they're gonna have kids. Oh, okay. That is funny. Do the dodgeball. Do the races. Do softball or whatever. Do the quarterback. Bring back the quarterback skills challenge. Bring that back, and just make a weekend of it with just some interactive fan type of stuff. Get somebody to do a concert. Everybody talking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z put on a concert during the weekend. That's the Pro Bowl. Nobody cares either other way. Okay, we can have Mozzie come then, nigga.
Mozzie.
Come on, man. We trying to do social justice, man. We ain't trying to hear no Jay-Z right now, man. He had his chance.
Straight
Okay.
up, man.
I get all
But
my social justice from Drake. Exactly.
listen, I'm not advocating for Drake. I already know what Drake
Man,
is,
come
bro. When it
on,
comes
man.
to
I
that.
was trying to end that segment. Let's move on.
I was about to keep it going. I was about to be done. But
Go
anyway,
ahead,
Oh
man.
yeah,
I'll just play with you. Go ahead, bro.
man, yeah, let's move on and let's get to the nitty gritty, man. Let's go on here and review this regular season. So week 1, we went up against the Cleveland Browns. It was kind of a back and forth game. Cleveland came out the gate, jumped out to a big lead on us. They was looking pretty good. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they both was getting they running game off a bit. And then in the second half, the Chiefs, they got things rolling offensively, and then they made a couple of key defensive stops. I know one. Actually, the Chiefs caught a break on one. Cleveland was actually trying to punt the ball, and the punter bobbled the ball, and the Chiefs got great field position out of that, and that's when things started to click all of a sudden. And then of course, we talk about Dirty Dan being the Robert Ory of football at the time. He got the Baker pressing him. Baker threw an interception, and the Chiefs sealed out the win. But besides that, Patrick and Tyreek, they put up huge numbers in that game. That like mainly that main highlight when Patrick was rolling to his right and he threw it like almost across the field, and Tyreek caught a 1-on-1, took off. So that was the biggest highlight of the game right there.
So do you think that game was a microcosm of Cleveland's season? They started off hot and it just fizzled down to the end. Wasn't that like a snapshot of their whole season?
I mean, it was a sign of things to come, maybe.
Yeah. Also for the Chiefs too. Don't get it twisted because they started off cool, then the offense fizzled, and then the defense fizzled, but then they pulled it out at the end. That's kind of a snapshot of their whole season too. So
yeah.
good game though.
Like
Very entertaining game though.
it was a good game, but like at the end of the day, like the Browns ended up scoring 29 points in that game. So I think for me, I was looking back over that game and I'm like, this was such a reflection of what our defense was kind of like all season, like letting them score, like the Browns scored 29 points. Like when you think about like what the Browns season was overall, and you think about how they came out week 1 and scored 29 points on us, you're kind of like, that's not great from a defensive standpoint. So that was kind of something. I know Nick Bolton came out really strong. That was like his first game of the season being a rookie, and he came out, I think he maybe broke a record or something, had a bunch, I don't know,
Yeah,
I can't remember correctly. A Chiefs record maybe for most tackles by a rookie. So I think he proved pretty early on that he was going to be a great addition, but overall the defense still, I was like, they scored 29 points when I was looking back at the score. It was like, yikes.
Yeah, that was a game when Tyron was out with COVID, so
Yeah.
he missed
Tyron
that
missed
game.
that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that felt like one of those games just going. We picked up right where we left off last year, getting back in it at the end, and then Browns being the Browns. But yeah, like you said, that was the future. Little shot of the future, though.
It set us up, huh? It was a setup.
Yeah.
and then before the game actually started or whatever, that Friday when all of us was on there previewing with BJ, there was some people that was on the Cleveland Browns bandwagon, and I was like, man, this looked like a team that's not gonna be able to handle success. And sure enough, they couldn't handle success this year, and they didn't get back to the playoffs. So I mean, it was just too much hype behind Cleveland. I felt like it just felt that way.
I think I'm actually on the show saying that 2-53, they probably had a better team than we did.
Yeah.
I think we kind of agree. I don't know if we agreed on that, but I think it was like Cleveland, you got a nice roster. You didn't.
I mean the roster was cool, but I wouldn't say like they was gonna be world beaters and everything. Like the talent is there, but I just felt like Baker Mayfield wasn't gonna be able to carry it over, and he really didn't. And yeah, he was dealing with the injury this year, his shoulder and all that. But there was some throws where I don't think his shoulder was gonna be an issue. He just missed guys, man. Like him and Odell never got on the same page, and Odell finally got out of there. He's having success in LA right now. Things just did not click for Cleveland all season long. They just went through a lot.
So
with injuries too.
Were there expectations not to be where Cincinnati is, but weren't they supposed to be a Cincinnati type team? We're gonna sneak up on some people, we're gonna steal some wins, we're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. Not saying we're gonna win the Super Bowl or all that stuff, but they had a very, very disappointing season from where the hype of this
Cleveland didn't sneak up on nobody
at all. Matter of fact, they got smacked.
Cincinnati snuck up on this season. Cleveland came into the season, people was picking them to go to the Super Bowl because they went to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They was talking about Baker was going to take that step. So I don't think they snuck up on anybody. I think they just underachieved.
Yeah,
that's fair.
They have a QB thing to work out.
Definitely.
They got the pieces. They definitely have a good roster, to your point, but I think they need a better leader in their QB position. He's just not it. But
don't worry.
Nothing against
if Tyrod
Baker.
Taylor get there, they're gonna be perfect.
Tyrod coming back.
I'm sorry, Cleveland. Go ahead. Let's go.
Man.
What's the next game we had?
Baltimore Sunday Night Football. We tricked this one out pretty bad, man. Starting off, the Honey Badger, he came back off COVID and got a pick six right out the gate.
Immediately went to work.
Yeah. And then he had another interception later on in the game. He let his presence be known early, man. Like, you still one of them dudes in the secondary in the league. But then on top of that, man, the Ravens, they still kind of hung in the game, but at the same time, the Chiefs passing offense continued to hum. And, Travis Kelce continued to do his thing. Pringle and D-Rob, they got involved and scored. The Ravens did a good job of holding Tyreek in check. But in the end, like, what really killed the Chiefs was that we had an 11-point lead, and on third down, Patrick was just trying to do too much, man. Like, instead of just taking a sack and trusting your punter and your defense, he throws the ball for grabs, and the Ravens get a pick, and they get a field position, and then, essentially they took the lead. But then the Chiefs later on in the game, they had an opportunity to, come back and win the game, with maybe a game-winning field goal. But unfortunately, Clyde fumbled the ball after the 2-minute warning, and that was that. So the Ravens won 36-35.
So this game was another snapshot of what was to come. If the offense clicking, the defense not clicking, the defense is clicking, the offense is not clicking. It was just never later on in the season they kind of got to this level where they were both clicking at the same. It probably was like this, but you know what I'm saying? It kind of like it never just balanced out where they were both on the same level. But this is just another snapshot of what was to come later on. But and like Kevin said, this is the game. Clyde's first fumble in the NFL, like, period. You know what I'm saying? And everybody turned on him on that fumble, which lost us the game. But Pat had some questionable plays in that game and did some. It was the beginning of Patrick is trying to do too much. This is one of the first games, but the offense was clicking, so we wasn't really pointing to like, yo, Pat needs to chill. It was just like, yeah, Baltimore was due one. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bud.
Are we gonna talk about how this is probably one of the last games Honey Badger was making impact plays?
Oh, man.
We can talk about that. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Boogie.
He had to play later in the season when he picked up that fumble, but this was his most impactful game of the season by far. And after this, it seemed like it was going downhill.
Yeah, it was, man. And also at the same time, man, teams were going away from him too after this game for a minute. Like, you know, teams weren't really attacking him like that, essentially until the Cincinnati game. But this game also exposed Chris Jones being a defensive end experiment, because against Cleveland, he got a key sack late. You know what I mean? Just to make things tougher on Cleveland at the end of that game. But in this game in particular, you know, Lamar Jackson and them was just killing them with the RPO, man. Like, whether Lamar kept the ball or whether Lamar handed off to the running backs, and Chris Jones just got exposed all night, man. And Baltimore was able to run the ball successfully.
A lot.
I feel like this point or this game, we were so focused on the defense that we didn't really start looking at the offense, although it was definitely the beginning of the turnovers. And I mean, we had that last turnover at the end of the game to lose. Well, gave them back the ball. And then we go into the following week, and it's like turnover central. So this wasn't about the offense this game, but maybe there's some other things to pick apart there than we weren't really focusing on at the time.
It was cracks being shown, but the offense was playing so good that they were still like, we could Band-Aid it up. But, yeah, it was like the beginning of we need to rip the Band-Aid off. So now we are 1-1, and divisional rival. Was this at home?
Yeah, it was.
No, this was in. Was it? No,
it was at home.
We played.
It was in Baltimore.
No, I'm talking. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We saw the Baltimore game. I was going to the next game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, you go to the next game, or you talking about the Baltimore game?
Yeah. I'm sorry. My bad. So, Baltimore, good win for them. Lamar was 0-3 versus us up to that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was probably Lamar's best game of the season too.
I mean, it's up
there.
there.
Didn't he flip into the end zone?
Huh?
Isn't this the game he flipped into the end zone? And I was like, never again. I do not want to see that ever again.
He was feeling himself. He was feeling himself against them.
I think I heard his back got hurt or something from that.
Yeah, then Lamar actually hurt himself when he flipped too, because I think that next week, you know, he was on the injury report. I think it might have been his shoulder that he injured when he did that flip or whatever. So but Lamar, he started out rough, but then he bounced back. You know what I mean? He made some key throws. Him and Marquise had something going, and then
the tiny receiver you always talking about, right?
Yeah, Marquise. Yeah, he's a midget. He's still not a number one. Still not a number one.
I was just making sure that's what you're talking about. Okay, my fault.
Yeah, but anyway,
okay,
trust me. Trust me, he wouldn't be a wide receiver one on any other team.
You
Go
ready
ahead,
to go to
Country.
the next game? You good?
Go ahead, Country. Go to the next one, bro. You got it. Go to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're 1-1. We beat Cleveland. We lost the heartbreaker to the Ravens. Divisional showdown. Chargers. Herbert. Arrowhead. Prime time.
That
This
was a day game.
It was a noon game.
That was a
It
new
was a
game, bro.
noon game?
Yeah,
I
it
was
a noon
actually
game.
there. It was
Prime time
awful.
game. Anyway. All right,
It
noon
was,
game showdown. AFC
yeah.
West divisional rival. Herbert versus Mahomes. Round 2 because he didn't play the second one. So this game, man, I just noticed, bro, all of these games were previewing what was going to come to happen later on towards the end of the season. And at that time, I don't think none of us noticed it, but offense gets off to a good start again, moving the ball. Mahomes goes Mahomes, and Marcus Kemp is on the field for no reason. And it was all downhill after that interception that Marcus Kemp should have caught. And that was a preview of tip receivers, tip balls going to the other team, which was a problem the entire season, including the AFC Championship game. So they were setting us up for what was to come, but we weren't paying attention. But this was a good game. It was we kind of killed ourselves. But
Did kill ourselves.
I think we had 2 turnovers in the red zone alone in that game.
We had 4 turnovers total in that game. Like,
but in the no turnovers are good, but in the red zone, so I was actually at this game, and it was I sat in the end zone and got to see a few of those awesome turnovers, but it was just like I was just puzzled. I remember standing there the whole time and being like, this isn't the team that I know. Like, I think that's when things started to be like, oh, these turnovers are becoming more consistent. Like, this defense, they still allowed 30 points that game. It's not improving over 3 weeks. So I think it was just like things were starting to come up and you were noticing things, and that was not a fun feeling. But, yeah, turnovers.
and then this was a game that Clyde, he officially lost his confidence, man, because he fumbled again in this game for the second game in a row. And then, like, before that, man, I'm going to go ahead to that Marcus Kemp play. That was whose fault was who type of play. And just you look at the replay numerous times, you can make a case for Patrick, why you no looking, what you doing, or Marcus Kemp, dude, catch the damn ball or whatever. But I think in that situation, Patrick should just play the safe, man. I know you're able to do that stuff. You know, you can get that highlight off and all that, but at that time, man, you was driving, man, getting out to a good start, man. I think you just could have just looked right at him and hit him, and that would have went for a touchdown. And then on the second turnover, Tyreek Hill fumbled the ball. You know, he caught a pass. We was about to get in the red zone. He caught the pass for the first down, and he fumbled, got hit or whatever. So yeah, man, just uncharacteristic turnovers. And I think we was missing a couple guys this game too. Like Travarius Ward was out, Willie Gay was out. So yeah. And then like Herbert was just in a rhythm, man. Herbert was spreading it out to everybody, man. Like whether it was Keenan Allen, whether it was Eckler on them check downs, you know, whether it was Mike Williams. Mike Williams has been the chief killer his entire career, basically.
Mike Williams killed us that game.
Dude, second half he was going crazy, man. Like he ended up with 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like the dude was unstoppable, man. We had no answer for him.
So was this the game we started crowning Herbert as the up and coming? Because this is going to be a theme over the season too. Lamar was.
I was coming to the season thinking that with Herbert.
Yeah, he was a big Chargers advocate, Boogie, before the season started.
Yeah.
Not Chargers.
Now, they was giving.
I was real high on Herbert starting the season.
Yeah.
I had him MVP. Matter of fact, when we started when we did our before season.
Yeah, like really? I said, big advocate.
Yep.
Oh,
And then I told you they weren't making the playoffs. And
Chuck, I'm sorry. The first show, we want to acknowledge the guests that we had. We had BJ Kissel on episode 1 for the Cleveland game. We had
we had Wayne Cole.
Yeah, Wayne Cole and
Wayne Cole for the
on the post game.
We had her. She talked.
Yeah,
she talked football.
And then we had Viva La Chiefs on the Chargers game because he's more of a Chiefs fan than a Chargers fan.
Chargers,
of course.
Oh yeah. In that Ravens preview, we forgot to mention y'all two was going at it about McCall Hardman. That was funny as hell. Y'all was beefing on McCall Hardman.
Oh yeah, that was that game, huh?
Yeah. Boogie was demanding more, and the country's like, man, we got Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. What we worried about McCall for you? Yeah. Y'all was going back and forth for 20 minutes at least, bro.
I would like to say I think I was wrong. I apologize, Boogie. I think, and it showed up over the season. You proved me wrong.
That was the theme early.
Yeah, that was the theme early. Who cares about the third guy? We killing him with these two. Even though I seen something that said McCall had like 824 yards this year, which was over our bold prediction. So McCall did get it together late, but at this point in the season, it was a lot of question marks. Pringle hadn't came on either at this point in the season either. So we were really searching for that third guy at this point in the season.
When did Fortson get hurt? Was that in this game or the?
That was the Washington game. He got hurt. That terrible ass field.
No, not the next game, but the
fifth game. That was after the Philly games. That'll be on the next. We'll talk about that on the next episode. But speaking of Jody Fortson, he scored this game. You know, he got in the end zone, so that was cool to see. Yeah. All the fans was going crazy when he scored.
Yeah,
you know,
he had a good couple games. Favorites. Yep.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see him next year.
Can't wait. I know. It was starting to become the Jody Fortson coming out party, and as soon as it started, and then he got hurt. Like, so it's after the Bills game.
It was tough.
Yeah. We've discussed it, Kevin. Who are the Commanders? Anyway.
Commanders. It's going to take some getting used to.
That's still funny, man. Dan Snyder still can't get it right, dude. Like, the fans had way better mascot suggestions. He was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm good. I got it from here, guys.
Wait that long for that shit, man?
Yeah. I don't think we would have been happy no matter what it would have been. People would have had something to complain about. But
they should have kept football team. Football team was kind of growing on me. I ain't gonna even lie. It's bad too, but it was kind of growing on me. Those jerseys are terrible. The color scheme is horrible.
Oh my gosh, dog.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change some jerseys next year.
Fam, they literally jacked the XFL mascot, dog. They literally jacked the XFL team because the San Antonio called themselves the Commanders, and they jacked that hashtag. Like, dog. Like,
the Commanders, what's their mascot? A naval ship?
I was like, man, is this a small soldiers? Because when I first saw it, I was like, man, is this small soldiers?
Man, that name, that logo, the color scheme, it's trash. It's trash. Washington, change it as soon as you can. Y'all need a new owner.
They took that jersey scheme from All Pro Football 2K8. One of them teams, man.
All right, game 4. We are 1-2.
1-2. Okay.
1-2. The next game was against the Flying Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
How are you feeling at this point? Going in, you're 1-2. We're 1-2. How is everyone feeling at this point in the season?
Man,
it's a lot of cracks, but it's not. The offense is still performing at this time. This is the game.
I think,
This is the game where I remember Boogie specifically saying, "We need 31 to beat the Eagles."
Yeah.
This is when the offense became.
I was about to say I was a little worried right now already.
Hey, nah, Boogie had it first. This is the game where Boogie was like, "Bruh, I don't care. We needed 31 to beat the Eagles. We needed all 31 of them." And he was right. He was right. The Eagles put up a hell of a fight. They were in that game to the end, right?
I think so, pretty much.
Yeah, like we really didn't
To
end
the
the game
fourth.
till the fourth quarter.
To the fourth,
You know?
yeah. Longer than they should have.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts ran all over us. If I can remember correctly.
Was
a
that
fancy
Jalen Hurts coming out party?
Yeah, that was a fancy football fest. That was a fancy football fest. You know, if you like fancy football, you know what I mean. Jalen and Patrick Mahomes both got their numbers.
That was
Devontae got his numbers. Dallas Goedert got his numbers. Tyreek Hill had another monster game. He had 3 touchdowns this time. 186 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a 100-yard rushing game on 14 carries. So yeah, man. Stars came out to play, man, except for Travis Kelce. Travis was held in check a bit. But offense still humming. Pat got his 5 touchdowns. So
yeah.
You know what?
I feel
okay, cool. So they hired Mike McDaniel. Good looking, Caleb. I want to talk about this point right here. They were in the game and then out of it and then in it again. That showed up a lot this season. Not putting your foot down on their neck. We have a habit of getting out to a big lead, letting them come back, get momentum, retaking the lead, and then letting them come back. Like, we don't stomp teams out. You know what I'm saying? We just like to escape with a win. We need to get in the habit of killing folks. Like it's really no other way to explain it. We got to get into the habit of killing teams again. You do not belong on the same field with us type of energy. We don't have that energy. I don't know if it's Reed or Mahomes or
that's our identity.
It's Reed. It's Andy Reid, bro. It's Andy Reid, man. Because he did this to Alex Smith too.
This is identity, bro.
I
don't know. I think like you see that your defense is giving them 30 points every game. Like you can't take your foot off the gas on the offense, knowing your defense is going to give away 30 points. You can't. So like I just think. And then this was the game that I was like, wow, our tackling is a problem. Like, I feel like there were so many missed tackles in this game. And like, I just think as a head coach, seeing that you gotta keep going offensively. And they did. I mean, 42 points, I guess. So
was this Dan needs to stop starting game? Or was that the Chargers game?
Nah, it was
when
more
did Dan
so
become an issue?
The Bills game. I think the Bills game we might have reached that point.
But you got a classic.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a problem from week 1 on. But
we said week 1 on.
Yeah, he started out the gate like that, but
listen, man.
I'm gonna say the Bills game too, but the Bills game is when it was like, yo, Dan cannot play anymore.
Too noticeable.
Yeah. That good word. Yeah, but
well, they exposed Dan all game. They saw him. They saw 49 out there, and they were like, "Do it again."
Dan was responsible for like 18 points. We're gonna get to that in the next episode. But
God.
I think
this was the Tyrant game.
Dan is a problem. Where's Juan?
Yeah, man. Juan was still in the doghouse around this time. But I know in this Eagles game, man, the defense is getting killed down the perimeter, dog. Like Philly's just doing whatever the heck they want, outside of hashes. It was just bad, bro. Like Devontae and Quez Watkins, it didn't matter who was out on that perimeter. The Chiefs just getting killed defensively.
This was a game of we won, but man, that don't look You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
we won the game, and you feel happy that we won the game, but it's like, oh, there's some stuff there that is ugly, and that might come back to haunt us later on. And actually, these first 4 games was a preview of. I keep saying that, but it really was a preview of what was to come and how it was going to end. But yeah, this is the first game where I, I distinctly, I don't know, whatever. I remember Boogie coming on like, man, we needed 31 points to beat the Eagles. And we was like, man, you tripping, man. We did good. He was like, no, we needed 31 points to beat the Eagles. And he was right. So,
The Eagles end up being a playoff team too. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
At
they
yeah,
that point in
did.
time,
Yeah.
I didn't have them making the playoff.
No, me either. So, that's our first 4-game stretch. We are 2-2, 500, but it's not a confident 500. It's definitely not a swag 500. It's a why are we 500? Like, why are we losing this much? And it's going to get a little worse after this game.
Oh, look.
Yeah. So look forward.
I don't
Look
want to
forward to.
see.
So look forward to part 2. Part 2 will
This
be
next
crazy,
game
man.
coming up, we might skip it because we ain't even nothing to talk about it.
What?
God.
Yeah.
I don't think I was emotionally ready to dig into all these games again. I gotta really. I'm
It's
like
kind of
sweating
fun,
again.
though.
I can't do it. No, I'm scared.
I wish next time I'll promise I'm gonna look and find out who we picked as players of the game and all that stuff, so we can really analyze that too. But yeah, it was a shaky. What was your concern level at this time? Boogie's was high. Boogie probably was at a 7 already. I was like at a 3.
I was at like a 6, but I was positive just because I have faith in our. Like I was like, they're gonna figure it out. Like this is like still in that mode. Like this sucks, but they're gonna figure it out. So I was concerned, but not like pull the alarm concerned quite yet.
Well,
I had my opinions.
It
Yeah,
is
I
the
was in the middle.
darkness before dawn, and it was about to get really, really.
Yeah,
We
I
have
was
to
in
do
the
the whole
middle.
month of October, which was like
Oh,
such a dark month for Chiefs
look,
Kingdom.
I'm not doing the Tennessee game, so I don't even want
Just put it under, yeah, throw up the tape.
to. We skipping that game. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Nah, we gotta
But,
talk about that one. Unfortunately, we gotta go through it, y'all. We gotta go through it, y'all. We can't be skipping
yeah,
games,
man.
man.
We got to exercise this demon, man. I think the more we break down these games, the better you'll feel. I mean, well, it'll still hurt, but the better you'll feel about how the season ended because we should have saw it coming. For real.
It's
Honestly.
healing. We're healing.
Yeah, healing. This is healing therapy. You know what I'm saying? Sit down on the couch and talk with your boys and your girl.
Ooh.
Hey, yo, I just remember something about this Philly game, dog. Like Chris, like you remember right before
Was
they
that
have Chris. You
the
remember right?
Thompson game? Oh,
Hold on,
that's
hold on a
that's
sec.
gonna
Hold
be
on a
funny.
sec. Hold on a sec. I just remember something about the Philly game. Right before they have Chris Jones out here trying to pick up the ball and run with it. Like, fall on it, dog. We got a chance to get a field goal right before the half. What the hell we
Oh
doing,
yeah,
man?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
yeah.
gosh.
That was a fun. That's still on the blue. That's shacking the blue for the year.
Like, come on, man.
what are you doing? This was the start of Clyde having a good run of games, though, because he definitely ran hard in this Philly game and in the next game. No,
Chargers,
it got ugly.
Chargers
Didn't he have
and Philly. I
like
think he
100
had.
yards? Wasn't it like 3 weeks in a row? Was it
Yeah.
Did he do it in the Ravens
Chargers,
game?
Philly?
Yeah, Ravens
I think it
game, I
was
thought
Chargers, Philly. No, it wasn't the Bills because he got hurt in the Bills game, right?
I can't remember.
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember, but
Yeah, he did get hurt in the Bills game because that next game, Darrell Williams started. So yeah, it was the Bills game he got hurt.
okay.
Yeah.
So he did have a little streak of 100-yard games going.
Yeah, it was Chargers and Philly. Chargers and Philly, he was coming along, you know. and then we got hurt in that Bills game. So,
But
but
it was
man, but also looking back on these 4 games, dog, Mike Hughes was getting roasted, bro. He was getting roasted,
Woo.
dog. That was turning into a burnt marshmallow, fam.
That's the theme all season too, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, for the
Yep.
most part, yeah.
Came back to haunt us again.
if Mike Hughes is on the field, put your tallest receiver on him.
Oh yeah, it's done with.
But how many guys at this point are we like, if this person's on the field, if this person's on the field, like I feel like this was becoming a theme, at least for me, because there's a few guys, and I don't want to be mean, that I was like, get them out. And I still feel that way. But I feel like the list kind of was like, okay, another guy, like get him out. I don't know.
It was Neiman,
Yes.
Dirty Dan,
Yep.
Hughes,
Yep.
and who else?
I don't know. I know
that was it. Oh, we definitely wanted. We was over Chris Jones at the end by this time. I think it was over at that point.
Yeah, it was done with. It was done with. But mainly those 3. Yeah, we wanted them off the field, bro. Like, look.
Congratulations, Justin Herbert, Pro Bowl MVP.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chargers stay getting consolation prizes. So.
Oh, bro, don't do that. Hey, they're gonna win the offseason again too. They're gonna win the offseason again too. So, yeah, man. Hell of a ride. It's gonna get worse after this, but stay locked in with us. We're gonna get through these next 4. These next 4 is ugly.
ugly.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah, these next 4 is Bubba Sparks, baby. These next 4 is Bubba Sparks. Booty challenge. Yo, Kylie, take us out.
What? No. Well, that is going to do it. We wrapped up the first 4 games of the season. It's going to be got some fun games to cover coming up. So, I don't know.
Next week, I'm bringing chocolate ice cream and tears.
Bring the Kleenexes because you're going to need them. I'm sure you're going to cry.
In a blanket.
But we know what, though? We're all here together, and we're all going to get through it together. You know? We're here for you guys. We're here for it.
Yo, like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Spreaker, Anchor. We are everywhere. KingdomCast.com is coming real soon. We're working on it. So stay tuned, and we love y'all, man. Even though y'all was in the comments calling me all type of names because we lost that Cincinnati game, I still love y'all. I still love you.
And also share this episode on all your social media platforms. Till the next episode, we out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.